Dear students, today we will discuss about stress physiology. There are various laws. When you were studying about the plant physiology, you have gone through. That laws includes growth related laws, development and morphogenesis related laws, and development and growth related you have studied different kind of meristematic laws. In development and morphogenesis, if we talk about biogenesis and biogenesis theory, then morphogenesis theory, then material and energy transformations, that you have gone through different kind of laws, which includes active transport, passive transport, and energy and transformation, different kind of transportations, and signal transductions. There are various kinds of laws which you have gone through while you were studying about the plant physiology. In growth and development and morphogenesis related, you have in those laws you discussed about the external appearances of plant life, that how plants appear externally, and in material and energy transformation, that you have gone through the basis for the growth and development, that how they grow and how they develop. For example, in case of abiogenesis and biogenesis theory, that previously scientists thought that there are the development of organisms from the non-living things, but later on studies and research showed that this is not the correct one. So biogenesis theory developed. Then message transportation and signal transduction, which is very important part of the plant adaptation to the environment. If there is any adaptation, any transformation within the living organism, that is because of their message or signal transduction activity, or activity which is responsible for any kind of important adaptation to the environment, which enable them to survive in any kind of harsh or favorable environmental conditions. So if we define stress, stress is basically any external factor which is disadvantageous and for the organisms, and that can negatively affect the growth and development of that particular kind of organism, then this is called as stress. Any unwanted or undesirable thing which is undesirable for you, then it is stress. For example, if you are folk lover, then the pop music is also a pollution or a causing stress, because you don't want that. So anything which is unwanted, undesirable, or disadvantage, or which causes disadvantageous effect on you, then it is called effect. And if we talk about the plants, any external factor or any thing which is disadvantageous and causes reduction in the growth and development of the plant is called as stress. Or there could be various kind of stresses. For example, there could be wind stress, there could be air pollution, there could be pathogens, insects, cold stresses, nutrient deficiency, soil salinity, water deficiency, high temperature, extreme radiation. These are all different kind of stresses. So stress is basically the environmental damage to the plant, and there could be two kind of stresses. These could be biotic stresses. For example, if that damage is because of any living organism, for example because of any bacteria, any virus, any other fungus, algae, or any animal that is damaging the plant, then it is included in the biotic stresses. While in abiotic stresses are those stresses which are non-living things. For example, environment, for example temperature variations, for example the wind variation, water variation, that is damaging the plant, then they are known as abiotic stresses. But plants have the ability to resist by adapting or by adapting themselves according to the harsh environmental conditions. And there could be two kind of adaptations, that could be stress avoidance or that could be stress tolerance. Later on we will discuss what actually these things are. So stress physiology, basically adversity makes an impact on plant life activities, resistance of the plant to these adversities we all discuss in stress physiology. So as I have mentioned earlier that stresses are of two types, abiotic stresses and biotic stresses. Abiotic stresses that include water or temperature stresses, and temperature stresses are of two types. Those could be cold stresses or heat stresses, and that could be oxygen or salinity stresses. So there are, as I have mentioned, there are the two resistance mechanisms. That first one is the avoidance mechanism, and second one is the tolerance mechanism. Avoidance mechanism is that kind of a mechanism in which plants adapt themselves to avoid the harsh environmental conditions. How they can do that? For example, in case of ephemerals, they have short lifespan. They rapidly complete their life cycles before the onset of harsh environmental conditions. And there are some other morphological adaptations. For example, succulent plants, they consume lots of water to avoid water stresses. By increasing transpiration, and leaf plant maintains the cooling and avoid heat stresses. So this kind of adaptation also enables the plants to develop resistance or resistance against stresses. Second kind of stresses resistance is by developing tolerance, that plants have the tendency to grow in stress conditions. For example, mangrove plants, they have the ability to tolerate excess salt by pneumatophores and viviparous germination. Pneumatophores, these enables them to respire in high salt situations, while in viviparous germination they start the germination while seed are present within the fruit, so that the miniature plant or germinated seedlings can germinate or can increase or can acclimatize according to their conditions. So tolerance is increased by two types. First is the acclimation and second is the adaptation. Acclimation, how they can acclimatize? It occurs for short duration. For example, it is not transmitted to the next generation. They acclimatize themselves by doing osmotic adjustments. While in case of adaptations, that kind of tolerance is transferred to the next generation because it is developed through genetic variations that are evolved in populations by multiple generations through the process of natural selection. For example, xerophytic plants or hydrophytic plants, they have developed adaptations according to the environment. So, as I have discussed stress avoidance and stress tolerance, so these I have discussed, and I hope this will help you in understanding the stress physiology and stress mechanisms, that how the plants can tolerate or can survive in harsh environmental conditions. Thank you.